Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Driving Insights Podcast by M5 Management Services, where we cover ways for your fixed operations department to gain efficiency, customer retention, and long-term profitability. I'm your host, Tim Harkins, brand manager at M5 Management Services, and on today's show, we'll talk about how the auto service industry's over-reliance on rigid, flat-rate compensation structures has fueled a technician shortage crisis through burnout and quality erosion, while exploring alternative frameworks like hourly and incentive-based hybrid pay models that better balance stability with calibrated productivity targets. So buckle up. You're listening to Driving Insights. The automotive service industry is currently facing a critical shortage of qualified technicians. As vehicles have become increasingly complex with advanced technologies, dealerships and repair shops are struggling to find enough properly skilled mechanics to work on today's cars and trucks. Yet the problem is not just recruiting new technicians, it's also retaining the ones they already have. Estimates indicate turnover rates around 20% for luxury brand dealers and as high as 25% for higher volume brands each year. That means up to a quarter of technicians are leaving their jobs annually, whether to go to other shops, switch industries entirely, or sometimes just leave the workforce. These high departure rates can create a costly disruption for shop operations and negatively impact customer service. When experienced technicians leave, they take expertise and specialty skills with them, and dealerships are unable to replace lost workers fast enough, resulting in understaffing issues and a widening skill gap across the industry. It's a growing crisis that industry leaders agree requires new solutions. But the automotive repair industry's widespread reliance on flat-rate pay structures to compensate technicians is actively worsening the growing skills shortage crisis. Under flat-rate systems, technicians receive compensation solely based on billed hours logged per repair job. This framework creates financial incentives for technicians to cut corners and rush through tasks to earn more billable hours rather than focus on proper diagnostic work and high-quality repairs. It also pits technicians against each other in internal competition for the most lucrative repair jobs, while less profitable tasks become financial burdens. Every minute a technician spends not running the clock on billed labor hours chips away at their earnings, livelihoods, and career stability. These pressures sow frustration and burnout, and surveys reveal most technicians feel flat rate diminishes the dignity of their skilled trade while enabling workplace politics and favoritism to dictate incomes arbitrarily. Veterans describe shop environments where unreasonable speed, carelessness, and internal sabotage are unavoidable consequences simply to earn decent paychecks. This erodes pride in work, increases mistakes that undermine customer satisfaction, and demotivates through unreliable, inadequate compensation. By creating this precarious and demoralizing work environment for the shrinking pool of qualified specialists, flat-rate compensation structures are directly expediting the industry's technician shortage crisis. Transitioning toward alternative pay frameworks will be essential for sustainable, motivating career paths that leverage technicians' expertise. The flat-rate pay model, used almost universally to compensate dealership technicians, has fundamental flaws that undermine service quality, technician job satisfaction, and customer trust. By only paying technicians for clocked hours on repair orders rather than an hourly wage, it creates financial incentives for harmful behaviors. Technicians feel pressure to cut corners, rush through diagnostics, and pass over complex issues in pursuit of quicker, billable hours on more accessible jobs. This leads to incomplete repairs, avoided problems, and band-aid solutions that inevitably return to the shop. Customers receiving sloppy work from hurried technicians develop deep misgivings about dealerships' trustworthiness. Meanwhile, the flat rate pay structure pits technicians against each other over distribution of the most lucrative jobs. Shop politics and favoritism determine who receives the best work, while others are left financially burdened with more complex issues despite equal skill sets. Veterans have described environments where writers or managers would deliberately starve out disfavored techs by assigning them inadequate work volume. Younger trainees struggle to hone skills on lower-paid jobs without senior support. This breeds resentment rather than cooperation between workers. Technicians also report feeling nickeled and dimed over every non-billable activity necessary for overall service excellence, including researching problems, assisting peers, mentoring newcomers, or carefully inspecting vehicles. However, the flat rate pay model provides zero earnings for time invested in these crucial aspects of sustaining quality operations. Burnout mounts from a continual scramble to log enough billable hours, while important non-revenue tasks get dismissed. Customer vehicles become missed opportunities for preventative care rather than occasions for building loyalty through comprehensive service checks. By creating this precarious and demoralizing environment, emphasizing quantity over quality, flat rate pay structures are accelerating deficiencies in workmanship standards and customer confidence. Transitioning to alternative pay frameworks will be essential for realigning incentives around service excellence rather than billable hours alone. One of the demoralizing aspects of flat rate pay is how it enables favoritism and unequal distribution of repair jobs within the shop. Under flat rate systems, not all jobs are equal. Some repairs, like brake replacements, fluid flushes, and scheduled maintenance, pay out higher effective hourly rates. These lucrative repair jobs become coveted tickets for fattening up paychecks. Since service writers and managers control work order assignments, they hold disproportionate influence over technicians' incomes. This gives rise to good old-fashioned office politics within shops. Veteran technicians describe shop environments where writers deliberately funnel the most profitable work orders to their favored techs. Those who stay in the manager's good graces find a steady diet of gravy jobs. At the same time, writers can easily starve out techs they dislike or see as overpaid. By assigning them inadequate work volume or a continual string of low-profit repairs, service writers functionally deduct wages. Techs struggling to feed their families on insufficient flat-rate hours face pressure to exit voluntarily rather than endure months awaiting fair distribution. Yet replacing an experienced technician often takes the time of costly recruiting and training efforts. That can be a real strain for understaffed shops. Over time, patterns of favoritism and marginalization can divide shops into resentful cliques that undermine operational excellence and customer experience. Even if favoritism doesn't govern work distribution day to day, profitable repairs still concentrate among whichever technicians develop specialties and expertise in those well-paying services. Newer trainees inevitably get left with the more complex, time-consuming jobs that bill fewer hours. Without producing profitable work, inexperienced techs lack chances for advancement, while churning through difficult repairs yields only meager earnings. So flat-rate pay frameworks actively disincentivize mentoring, teamwork, and equal opportunities. Dealerships clinging to flat-rate risk driving away both fresh and veteran talent. Transitioning to balanced compensation models will be essential for fostering cohesion and stability within teams. One of the most damaging consequences of flat-rate pay is that it forces technicians to rush through jobs and cut corners just to earn livable wages. With pay solely determined by clock hours rather than quality results, technicians feel intense pressure to accelerate even complex tasks. Every minute spent not running the clock actively diminishes their earnings. This discourages careful diagnostic work, double-checking repairs, or taking time to thoroughly clean and inspect components. Instead, rushing through volume-based repairs becomes a necessary survival strategy. Veteran technicians describe discouraging environments where cutting corners inevitably creeps into everyday work habits. When faced with stuck bolts, damaged brackets, or even obscure mechanical issues, the solution becomes bending, breaking, or brute-forcing parts rather than the methodical removal and replacement procedures that they require. While quicker initially, these shortcuts lead to damaged car components, botched alignments, and sloppy assemblies prone to early failure. The quality and integrity of technicians' work erodes when rushed. The never-ending scramble also strangles technicians' willingness to collaborate within and across skill areas. Helping peers diagnose a perplexing issue takes time away from one's profitable jobs. Similarly, thoroughly training apprentices reduces billable hours. So, flat rate pay actively discourages knowledge sharing essential for overall shop excellence. Over time, cooperative team cultures devolve into cutthroat competition over work distribution. Veterans hoard tips and tricks rather than lift up newcomers. Everyone struggles isolated in their own hourly quota chase. This atomized environment ruptures camaraderie while enabling unchecked growth of bad habits that undermine safety and service quality. Transitioning technician pay toward balanced hourly frameworks with productivity incentives will be essential to realign the current disincentives of flat rate structures. The flat rate compensation model also actively discourages critical collaboration and peer assistance within the shop cultures. With techs paid solely for clocked hours rather than the overall shop outputs, taking time to help struggling coworkers diagnose tricky issues or mentor trainees cuts directly into one's own earnings. Every minute not running the clock on billable repair orders represents lost revenue technicians will never recover. This frames sharing expertise and cooperative problem solving as financial liabilities rather than worthwhile investments into collective knowledge. Over time, the isolationist environment causes technicians to hoard specialized tips and tricks essential for efficient repairs rather than lift up their peers openly. Shop politics can then determine who gets access to which knowledge silos. Writer favoritism enables certain technicians to thrive on insider techniques while starving out others from needed advice. Even basic assistance like confirming a peer's diagnostic hypothesis or quickly locating an elusive part number becomes guarded rather than reflexive. The dynamics ultimately handicap shops systemically by strangling skill diffusion. Struggling mid-level techs never benefit from veterans' years of acquired problem-solving wisdom. Meanwhile, newcomers waste copious time fumbling through repairs unassisted rather than learning actively through paired work and productivity, and workplace satisfaction suffers across experience levels from this inhibited support. Over the long term, shops trap hard-fought expertise within isolated pockets rather than embedding skills holistically across teams. By failing to incentivize mutual investments in collective growth under flat-rate structures, dealerships undermine capabilities, efficiencies, and camaraderie simultaneously. One of the other damaging effects of flat-rate technician pay is that it flips the shop's quality incentives upside down. By compensating workers solely based on repair hours logged rather than long-term customer satisfaction, flat-rate structures subtly yet profoundly shift focus toward maximizing billable volume regardless of the outcome of quality. Technicians under relentless pressure chase clocked hours above all else, while thoroughness, workmanship, and prevention fall by the wayside. This manifests through technicians rushing from task to task, diagnosing issues hastily to match typical repair times rather than fully verifying problems, and glossing over supplementary items like fluid checks or tightening loose fittings spotted during repairs. Work order tickets emphasize only the primary build service rather than comprehensive vehicle condition reports. As a result, unfinished business gets kicked down the road. Comebacks from sloppy work increase while incremental damage goes unnoticed until major component failures occur. Similarly, veteran technicians describe how emphasis swings radically toward quantity when service advisors sell jobs based on swelling hourly pay over reasonable need. Pushing brake replacements prematurely or loading excessive recommended flushes onto every ticket boosts short-term revenue through inflated tickets but destroys long-term customer loyalty. Dealerships thereby trade dependable, holistic service for tunnel vision on billable transactions today. By divorcing technician pay so severely from accountability around sustainability, preventative care, and relationship building, flat-rate systems skews dealership operations over time in ways that undermine quality, satisfaction, and retention simultaneously. Nuanced, customized pay frameworks can help unite short and long-term interests rather than claw them apart through misguided hourly volume obsession alone. And if you're in need of help coming up with creative pay plans, contact us. Our consultants have years of experience designing systems for every scenario. Simply log on to www.m5ms.com and fill out the free consultation form, and we'll help you design your winning pay plan. Another insidious byproduct of flat rate pay is that it cultivates distrust and resentment among the customer base through incentives for systematic upselling of unnecessary services. With tech pay dependent wholly on accruing billable hours rather than reasonable solutions for repair needs, advisors face pressure from management to elevate tickets. This manifests through selling preventative maintenance items prematurely as well as attaching supplementary services of limited utility. Customers get advised to overhaul brakes still at 6 millimeters or flush all fluids at 25,000 miles regardless of specifications. And every work order gets padded with new bulbs, cabin filters, fuel additives, and more, not because their car requires them, but because they swell hours. This culture of pushing excessive maintenances and padding on accessory items directly erodes customer trust in the sincerity of the dealer's recommendations. Drivers feel hassled into approving services seemingly geared toward maximizing costs over tangible benefits. Relationships fracture as customers perceive their time being sacrificed for shop revenue. And distrust deepens when customers later discover from second opinions that only portions of recommended work held necessity. By enabling this dynamic where upselling rather than advocating rules repair interactions, flat rate pay structures tarnish dealer credibility and stall meaningful retention. Customers flock toward lower cost independence out of weariness over relentless sales pressure. Furthermore, technicians under flat rate actively avoid test drives, vehicle evaluations, or comprehensive multi-point inspections since all diminish billable hours. Identifying minor issues early no longer aligns with self-interests. Over time, omitting these relationship-building touchpoints strains bonds further, and dealerships focused narrowly on inflating transactional revenue above all slowly lose community standing as trusted advisors. More balanced pay models tied partly to customer outcomes can help reorient dealers away from the agnostic churn and toward lasting service partnerships. While the operational and customer impacts of flat rate pay reveal a broken system, the most damning perspective comes from speaking with technicians themselves. Veteran specialists describe a demoralizing environment where sacrificing quality, safety, and pride in their work feels inevitable just to bring home a paycheck. Survey data confirms technicians overwhelmingly view flat rate as an antiquated framework diminishing the dignity of their skilled trade. Veteran techs detail how an endless scramble to tally billable hours restricts even basic procedure. Skipping bolt torque checks, cleaning components, or even test drives to accelerate those ticket times. DIY weekend tinkerers take more care ensuring parts refit squarely than techs able to devote only minutes per complex assembly. Pride in workmanship dies when obligated to cut corners daily, and this strains relationships with service advisors expected to sell the work. Long-term technicians also despair watching young newcomers tossed into complex repairs without support, doomed to botch jobs that pay pennies on their first year's skill level. Veterans hesitate guiding trainees knowing their personal hours will suffer, so everyone struggles upholding reasonable standards under rigid hour requirements. These stories reveal how overburdened and restricted technicians feel from outdated flat rate frameworks that value clocked transactions over sustainable quality service. Transitioning towards balanced, secure compensation models will be crucial for upholding dignity and value for specialized technical trades in the dealership environment. Technicians deserve productive careers where expertise builds loyalty rather than relentless hours burning out passion. The deep discontent technicians express over outdated flat rate pay manifests in alarming turnover statistics across the industry. Estimates suggest approximately 20% of luxury brand technicians and 25% of high-volume brand technicians voluntarily exit dealership jobs each year. With U.S. dealerships employing over 750,000 techs in total currently, these departure rates indicate over 150,000 specialists changing shops or leaving the trade annually. The serial attrition stems technicians chasing better work environments, pay stability, or career transition rather than lack of customer demand. Industry leaders anticipate needing over 40,000 new technicians hired just among domestic brands dealerships this next half-decade. Yet training programs produce less than half the replacement volume necessary. Combined with senior specialists aging out, the industry's projected deficit of skilled labor may eclipse 25,000 within a few years as roles outpace new entrants. These dynamics reveal a full-blown crisis in retaining existing specialty talent that tight labor markets and demographic shifts likely will exacerbate further. With few new trainees voluntarily entering a career notorious for burnout, shops clinging to flat rate risk accelerating the skilled technician shortage toward a breaking point. Transitioning toward balanced, competitive pay frameworks provides the only viable path for stabilizing retention levels and cultivating sustainable dealer talent pipelines amidst growing shortfalls. The very future of in-shop repair trades now depends on moving beyond the decades-old flaws of flat-rate structures, demoralizing its existing skilled workforce. In explaining their motivations for leaving flat-rate shop jobs, departing technicians consistently cite an array of structural flaws that degrade careers and fuel widespread discontent. At the core lies unstable, inadequate compensation that fails to value expertise. But problematic distribution favoring pet techs, lack of support personnel, and absence of viable advancement pathways also regularly emerge. In surveys and interviews, technicians highlight pay inconsistency as a prime frustration. Veterans note avoidance of complex assignments and denial of hard-to-bill training time keeps average earnings below $20 per hour, barely above entry-level wages. Lack of guaranteed salary forces a zero-sum dynamic where hours get concentrated to efficient specialists. Long-term capability building suffers since slow, methodical work draws penalty rather than investment. The breadth of responsibilities paired with narrow revenue focus fuels rapid exhaustion. As veteran techs get overburdened, younger hires receive little coaching and soon wash out as well. Lastly, many express desire for advancement pathways to ascend from toolboxes to service management. But with shops underinvesting in human capital, ambitious veterans feel trapped behind tools without routes to progress careers. Effective flat-rate environments pit colleagues against each other rather than groom well-rounded leadership. So for technicians seeking stable, dignified trades to grow within, dealerships' tenures end in dead ends fueling exits. Given the deep flaws endemic to conventional flat-rate pay structures, management innovators have begun exploring alternative frameworks dubbed hybrid compensation models. These customized systems aim to inject aspects of fixed hourly wages to ensure base income stability while retaining pieces of incentive pay to still reward productivity. Configurations balance guaranteed technician livelihoods against flexible earnings tied to efficiency goals. Early adopters utilize diverse formulas spanning guaranteed salary floors with marginal flat rate percentage commissions to hourly base rates supplemented by monthly bonus thresholds. The variable components incentivize technicians optimizing workflow and completing complex tasks fully rather than compromise speed alone. Some models institute peer audits and customer feedback metrics to factor quality explicitly. Others focus narrowly on balancing customer build hours versus clocked hours internally. Implementation studies show hybrid approaches significantly improving morale and retention outcomes versus pure flat rate. One dealership cut voluntary turnover 44% within 2 years of transitioning to an hourly floor plus monthly bonus format. Technicians cited reduced workplace anxiety with guaranteed minimum earnings and fresh motivation from impartial productivity goals. Customer satisfaction also rose with quality audits being integrated. Though formats remain varied and nascent currently, the core premise around balancing base security and calibrated incentives shows tangible potential modernizing today's zero-sum competitive environments. Custom tailoring hybrid solutions to distinct shop needs and cultures will prove essential rather than one-size-fits-all mandates. But early signs suggest dealers can craft next-generation frameworks upholding dedicated, sustainable, technical trades even amidst disruption. And as we said before, we at M5 have a ton of experience in crafting these nuanced pay plans. And if you are in need of assistance with that, just contact us at www.m5ms.com and fill out the free consultation form. At its core, a hybrid compensation model aims to blend elements of fixed, guaranteed wages and variable performance-based pay. This structure seeks to balance income stability with calibrated incentives driving productivity. Rather than pure flat-rate systems where employee pay equates directly to billable hours logged, hybrid approaches guarantee livable baseline salaries while integrating metrics for efficiency, quality, and customer satisfaction to determine flexible bonus earnings. In practice, dealerships desire unique configurations of base pay rates, goal-aligned variable components, and measurement formulas tailored to their shop's specific needs. The fixed piece ensures technicians receive fair minimum compensation for their work quality, irrespective of speed or politics. This might take the form of hourly base wages or monthly salary floors. The performance increments then encourage optimization rather than just volume. Common options include small flat rate percentages, hourly productivity bonuses, customer survey targets, and peer reviews. Structuring the variable elements allows dealers to cut back the pressure around maximizing billable hours alone. By rewarding comprehensive repairs, assistance provided, training delivered, comeback avoidance, and beyond, hybrid frameworks realign technician efforts towards sustainable quality service. Reduced pressure and enhanced focus on well-rounded development limits attrition while benefiting customer experiences longer term. The hybrid model philosophically aims to uphold the dignity of the trade's work rather than erode craft pride through severe hours-based compensation. Teams stay motivated through purpose over survival pressure. Dealerships stand to gain from cultivated expertise and realigned investment in relational service outcomes over flat rates' narrow short-term volume fixation that has clearly grown outdated. The foundation of an effective hybrid technician pay model is the inclusion of fixed hourly wages. This guaranteed base rate aims to provide consistent and sufficient income covering living costs that technicians can depend on, irrespective of work volumes or complexity. By ensuring basic lifestyle expenses get met through reliable hourly earnings, the pressure cooker environment staining flat rate models ease substantially. Dealers implementing hybrid structures often establish base hourly rates in line with regional industry standards for specialized trade professions. Typical brackets range from $18 to $22 per hour based on cost of living metrics and skill level. So an average dealership may guarantee seasoned technicians pay $20 per clocked hour. Newer apprentices still developing skills may fall around $16 to $18 per hour in starter roles. This hierarchy rewards experience directly while ensuring all workers earn respectable incomes as a foundation. From that secure baseline, hybrid models then incorporate secondary performance metrics steering productivity, direct flat rate percentages, efficiency incentives, customer surveys, etc. But the underlying hourly rate prevents income fluctuations from undermining basic well-being. Technicians focused on refining expertise and maximizing quality outcomes rather than basic hour chasing. Anchoring compensation to reliable hourly salaries proves essential for sustaining specialist morale and retention long term. Workers feel valued through pay equity principles rather than nickel and dime endlessly chasing survival on marginal job distinctions. Guaranteed base rates reinforce sustainable careers, and dealership culture benefits from dedicated teams rather than annual burn and churn cycles demoralizing staff. Hourly foundations uphold trade's dignity as well. While the hourly wage base of hybrid pay models ensures steadier, sufficient technician income, dealers still need production efficiency. So hybrid structures overlay measurable productivity incentives atop guaranteed salaries to maintain volume and workflow optimization. This allows leadership to calibrate earnings with activity rates while preventing staff income from fully divorcing from real output, a risk within straight hourly pay devoid of moderation. Common incentives tied to efficiency include marginal flat rate percentages, boosting hourly base pay, flexible weekly bonus targets around billed hours thresholds, and scaled monthly commissions matching repair order volumes. These transparent, tangible additions to base pay rates reward staff pushing productivity through reliably high effort. Attaching simple financial uplifts to measurable benchmarks gives technicians clarity into how applying their specialized skills diligently directly improves their income. Ensuring the variable component stays a reasonable percentage of total pay prevents return to cutthroat hours-chasing environments. But even moderately weighted incentives clinging to bottom lines steers advisors, writers, and technicians toward comprehensive solutions. This manifests through staff proactively identifying issues early rather than avoiding problems until critical. Building efficiencies through experience gains purpose when directly benefiting cooperative teams fiscally. Well-designed productivity pay components allow leadership to still calibrate total labor costs against market conditions, but the incentives get framed as opportunities for specialists to reap gains from quality craftsmanship rather than fixed dangling carrots dividing teams. Output and income align through moderate, transparent performance measures layered onto secure hourly base pay. A key advantage of hybrid pay models is their inherent flexibility, allowing customized components tailored to individual dealership needs and constraints. While foundational hourly salary structures promote universal technician equity, performance-tied elements adapt uniquely to shops based on workflow mix, compatibility, dynamics, and culture. No standardized formula exists given operation diversity. Rather, leadership crafts dynamic formulas aligning with associate outcomes with management goals. For dealerships focused on customer retention, service advisors may receive commission percentages around survey satisfaction and repair callback rates. Leadership could even institute graduated rewards stretching year-over-year targets, promoting continuous improvement. Shops seeking major productivity leaps might attach escalating flat rate percentages or efficiency bonuses atop base rates rewarding stretched individual activity. Teams needing skills development may emphasize reward pools around knowledge transfer hours logged. Even fixed components like base wages can adapt across markets, accounting for labor cost variation and compatibility's balance. Pay structures can also remain dynamic. Dealer leadership adjusting components responding to changes in work volume, vehicle technologies, and staffing constraints. Annual compensation redesign aligns associate and management interests. This framework, customization, and regular reconfiguration provides advantages over standardized industry models resistant to unique shop needs. Hybrid approaches allow dealerships marrying equitable, secure base pay with calibrated incentives toward training, service quality, customer relationships, and operational goals matching business conditions. The automotive service industry's continued near-universal reliance on rigid flat-rate pay structures has proven wholly inadequate for contemporary repair environments and worker expectations. The technical complexity of modern vehicle systems paired with heightened customer service standards has stretched the antiquated flat-rate model beyond its breaking point. Technicians struggle matching accelerating demands with narrow constraints measuring work solely through clocked billable hours. The resultant strains manifest through symptoms of hasty misdiagnosis, incomplete repairs, rising callbacks, and an erosion of craftsmanship pride widely observed across dealership settings. But most damaging, flat-rate frameworks actively discourage the collaboration, training investment, and preventive evaluation essential for holistic service excellence. By compensating workers solely for transactions completed rather than comprehensive outcomes, these dated pay scales undermine integrated success metrics. Over time, the structures damage integral bonds connecting specialized labor talent to appointing dealership management while severing ties driving customer loyalty. Technician skill development, career dignity, and basic income reliability suffer absent modernization. The shortage crisis will only deepen as veteran specialists wash out earlier without flexible, equitable pay models upholding trades work as skilled professions again. Dealers clinging dogmatically to flat rate risk accelerating the implosion of in-shop repair capabilities from within. With outdated compensation hanging as a root cause of worsening retention, quality and rapport declines. Existing frameworks demand large-scale reform. Transitioning toward customized hybrid pay, blending base income assurances with targeted productivity incentives, marks an essential first stage modernizing the employee-customer value chain, sustaining dealerships through increasing disruption. As pressures mount across a range of operational and retention metrics for dealerships, the path forward points clearly toward comprehensive reform of outdated technician compensation strategies. The universal industry standard of rigid flat-rate structures has proven wholly misaligned with contemporary repair complexity, customer expectations, and workforce sentiments. Hybrid approaches blending core hourly salaries with flexible productivity incentives tied to quality, training, and satisfaction metrics offer potential foundations, realigning counterproductive incentives. But meaningful modernization requires customized packages responding to local constraints across markets rather than blanket standards. Some shops may opt for salaried roles with revenue commission bonuses, while others install base hourly rates with reciprocal peer audits. Implementation demands adaptable management willing to experiment beyond legacy policies. This transition marks only an initial step. Holistic upgrades to integrated advisor-technician team structures, appointment scheduling systems, in-shop workflows, and supportive ergonomics all require consideration simultaneously. Isolated compensation interventions alone cannot resolve systematic strains. Still, appropriately elevating recognition and security for skilled labor via balanced pay models promises a launch point, reversing staff disillusionment and imminent capability contraction trends. Pay philosophies must transform from pure transaction obsession toward sustainable outcomes, nurturing customer loyalty and continuous team growth. This cultural shift, expanding definitions of value-added contributions beyond immediate billable hours completed, may prove dealerships' biggest challenge. But investing in equitable, appealing career paths for loyal associates today plants seeds securing business continuity against disruption tomorrow. And that's an urgent strategic imperative dealers dismiss only at their peril. As the mounting pressures of the skilled labor shortage, quality erosion, and customer distrust reach inflection, dealership leadership faces an urgent imperative, rethinking compensation model orthodoxy. Clinging dogmatically to rigid flat rate structures against near unanimous workforce dissatisfaction and clear misalignment with repair complexities betrays a stubbornness detached from market realities. Dealers dismissing the groundswell calling for modernization risk being disrupted faster from within than an external force. With technicians detailing overwhelming frustration and early career burnout fueled by dated pay scales, openness to alternative frameworks deserves genuine exploration rather than reflexive protectionism. Hybrid approaches balancing equitable base pay income assurances with incentives promoting sustainable quality and capabilities growth hold intuitive appeal aligned to contemporary expectations. Yet, moving the industry beyond myopic billable hours obsession requires a cultural shift, challenging assumptions and traditions. It's no small task given reputational inertia large corporations covet. Still, management must carefully weigh if saving face on past precedent outweighs renewing loyalty among specialized talent pools drying up quicker each year. Without flexibility allowing customized packages responding to local needs, system-wide reform stalls. Resolving the expanding labor crisis will force dealerships listening to experts detailing compensation innovations rather than dictating through legacy rigidities. Constructing alluring career paths upholding the dignity of trades today demands imaginative payroll packages rewarding rounded excellence beyond mere speed to survive. Dealers hoping for continuity against disruption must first invest in workforces striving for pride in their contributions rather than clock watching anxiously until quitting time. As the automotive service industry grapples with immense pressure from labor shortages, improving customer vehicles' technical complexity, and a widespread skills gap crisis within the technician workforce, evolving stale compensation norms no longer aligned to market realities proves an urgent imperative to build sustainability. Legacy flat-rate pay structures have clearly fostered counterproductive incentives, eroding service quality, team cohesion, and work dignity over recent decades. Dealers must now display willingness to implement customized hybrid frameworks, better balancing income reliability with measured productivity gains if in-shop repair capabilities hope to meet demand at the scale of disruption ahead of us. Technicians deserve specialized trades careers where expertise accrues loyalty rather than relentless hours burning out passion. The future remains challenging, but not without pathways if dealerships invest in workforces striving for excellence through purpose over clock watching. Now, before we go, we've got another homework assignment for you. We've created a 10-point action list for you to explore how your dealership can start to move away from antiquated flat-rate pay plans. It's available in the show notes and on our website, www.m5ms.com, under the Driving Insights section. You'll see the episode list and a link to download the action list as well. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for listening. I've been your host, Tim Harkins, brand manager at M5 Management Services. And as always, if you have any questions or topic suggestions, or may be interested in how M5 could help your fixed operations department, please contact us on our website at www.m5ms.com. Make sure to tune in next time, where we'll talk about more industry topics that will help drive your fixed operations department to increased efficiency, customer retention, and long-term profitability. Thank you, everyone. This has been Driving Insights.
Remember Rose? Well, it's back and better than ever. Introducing Rose Plus, the ultimate service department power tool that revolutionizes your repair order analysis. No more paper surveys or endless spreadsheets. With Rose Plus, you get a 360-degree view of your service department, uncover hidden sales opportunities, and track technician performance all in real time. Seamlessly integrate with your existing DMS, import data effortlessly, and share reports securely. Boost sales, optimize discounts, and improve customer satisfaction with Rose Plus. Upgrade to Rose Plus today and watch your service department bloom with success. Log on to m5ms.com for more info. Boost your dealership's success with M5 University, your key to automotive excellence. Our expert design curriculum empowers every team member, from service advisors to porters, with communication skills and confidence. It's not just training, it's an investment in your dealership's future, driving customer satisfaction and profit growth. Log on to m5ms.com today and unlock your team's potential with M5 University.